Routing billions of daily API calls, from weather forecasts to bank transfers, servers must answer two questions. Who are you, and should I trust you? When building these connections, engineers often start with the wrong question, searching for the single, most secure authentication method. In production, security is relative. The real goal is finding the specific method that fits the scale of your architecture. Every engineering team is actually navigating a trade-off between implementation and operational overhead on one side and cryptographic certainty on the other. This chart shows how the 8 dominant authentication methods distribute across those two axes. You can see the spread between low-cost, low-complexity options and the rigorous requirements of zero-trust architectures. These methods form a complete contextual toolkit. The objective of sound API design is to match the authentication protocol to the specific trust boundaries of the system. We begin with the baseline tier of authentication, passing simple, static strings. The most frequent starting point is the API key. An API key functions like a loyalty card. You present it, the server scans it, and you receive the requested data. It provides zero-friction verification, which is why it is used so frequently for server-to-server communication or for enforcing rate limits on public APIs. However, API keys carry no inherent user identity and rarely include expiration dates. If a key is leaked, it grants persistent, full access to the resource until an administrator manually revokes it. Another legacy option is basic authentication. This method relies on encoding a standard username and password in base64 format, a way of representing binary data using only 64 different characters. Base64 encoding is not encryption. It is a reversible format. If these credentials are intercepted during transit, they can be instantly read by any observer. To mitigate this risk, Basic Auth requires the use of HTTPS, Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, to encrypt the connection itself. Without that encrypted tunnel, the credentials travel in plain text. Simple secrets require almost zero setup time, but their lack of inherent protection means they rely entirely on the security of the surrounding network environment. Modern application architectures, like single-page apps and mobile clients, face a different problem. Constantly querying a central database to verify a user's session for every single request creates a performance bottleneck that adds seconds of delay to the user experience. To solve this, developers use bearer tokens, the concert wristband model. The app logs in once, receives a token, and gains access to restricted resources just by presenting that token in the request header. The risk is that the token itself grants access to whoever holds it. Architects counter this by using short token lifespans, often under an hour, combined with refresh tokens that periodically request a new access token without requiring the user to log in again. A JWT is a credential with 3 parts: a header, a payload containing user data, and a signature. The server uses the signature to mathematically verify the token locally. It validates instantly without calling a database, scaling across multiple servers efficiently. The downside of JWTs is that the data in the payload is base64 encoded, meaning it is readable by anyone who sees the token. Furthermore, once a JWT is issued, revoking it before it naturally expires requires implementing complex blacklisting strategies. By moving to stateless tokens, engineering teams are trading centralized, immediate access control for high-volume, decentralized scalability. In third-party integrations, the challenge is separating authorization, what a client is permitted to do, from authentication, the verification of who the user is. OAuth 2.0 is a delegation framework. It functions like a valet key that allows you to grant a third-party app limited, scoped access to your data without ever sharing your actual account password. In the authorization code flow, the user approves access at an auth server. The app trades a one-time code for an access token to reach the resource server. This relies on scopes, granting permission to read a calendar while strictly denying email access. Implementing OAuth 2.0 requires maintaining dedicated authorization servers and managing complex token flows. A small misconfiguration here can compromise data across every connected service. To verify the user identity, developers layer on OpenID Connect, or OIDC. OIDC is a simple identity layer built on top of the OAuth 2.0 protocol. It adds an ID token, which is a JWT containing standard claims about the user, such as their name, profile picture, and verified email address. When you use Login with Google, You are using OpenID Connect to deliver identity data, while OAuth 2.0 handles the secure delegation of access permissions. In fintech and high-stakes enterprise environments, data integrity is the primary requirement. Standard tokens aren't enough when you need to prevent sophisticated impersonation or tampering. These systems use HMAC, hash-based message authentication code, signatures. An HMAC acts as a cryptographic seal that guarantees a message has not been altered during transit. To generate an HMAC, the request components are run through a hashing function with a secret key, producing a unique signature. The server recalculates this hash. If an interceptor alters even one character, the signatures violently mismatch, instantly exposing the tampering and triggering rejection. This requires both parties to securely store the same secret key and maintain strict clock synchronization to prevent replay attacks, where a valid request is intercepted and sent again later. The foundation of Zero Trust architecture is mutual TLS, or mTLS. In mTLS, both the client and the server must present and validate cryptographic certificates before any data is exchanged. While mTLS provides the strongest possible verification by eliminating passwords and tokens, it requires a significant operational investment. You need a dedicated team to manage a public key infrastructure to handle certificate rotation and revocation. Mature architectures rarely rely on a single layer of verification. Instead, they stack these methods across different trust boundaries, depending on the sensitivity of the data. We can simplify the choice by looking at this decision tree, which routes your needs toward the appropriate protocol. If you are building server-to-server communication on a trusted internal network, use API keys for rapid implementation and maximum speed. If you are an architect building user-facing applications that require federated login, default to stacking OAuth 2.0 with OpenID Connect to manage identity and delegated access. For high-stakes financial infrastructure or zero-trust service meshes, accept the operational burden and implement HMAC signatures or mTLS. Avoid the trap of over-engineering internal tools, which creates compounding technical debt. Conversely, under-engineering a public-facing API creates a direct path to a data breach. Do not let theoretical security concepts dictate your early-stage architecture, but never let developer convenience put user data at risk. The ultimate goal is to match the strength of the credential precisely to the sensitivity of the resource.